Welcome to the deep dive. Ever have that feeling like you don't quite fit in? Or maybe there's some deeper purpose calling to you, a kind of resonance you can't quite name. Well, today we're plunging into a really fascinating message that speaks right to that feeling. We're exploring ideas around spiritual awakening, finding your purpose, and navigating, well, what this source calls different states of consciousness. Our source material for this deep dive is a transcript. It's from a YouTube channel, Mestres Ascensos, that translates to Ascended Masters. And the video is titled, Uma das mensagens mais impactantes para os 144,000, which means one of the most impactful messages for the 144,000. Now, for those maybe new to that specific term, the 144,000 often comes up in certain spiritual circles. It usually refers to a particular group, let's say of awakened souls or light workers. And this message, it's presented as being especially significant for them. So our mission today is to unpack these really profound concepts. We'll get into star seeds and this critical distinction the source makes between 3D and 5D consciousness.
Get ready for some pretty surprising perspectives on self-discovery and what being truly well-informed might mean in a spiritual sense. Okay, let's dive right in. The source starts immediately with this compelling concept, star seeds. It's a term you hear a lot, right? But how does this specific message define them? What's the core idea here?
Yeah, it's fascinating how it describes them. It's less about what they are externally and more about an internal feeling. You know, it talks about those who feel the calling, who've never quite fit in this world, and carry a longing that has no name, pulsing, like a song from the stars. That's the phrasing it uses. The key insight really is that it's not about being superior or special in that way. They're framed more as precursors, people choosing to come first, not for glory, but for love. The purpose being to open paths so others can remember their own inner truth. It's this deep sense of, well, innate purpose.
Precursors. I like that framing. So if that's the idea, the message then pivots pretty quickly. It says the first mission is yourself. What does that actually mean for you, the listener? Is it more than just, a typical self-help phrase?
Oh, it's very direct about it. It's about radical self-recognition, recognizing yourself, looking at yourself with truth, without masks, without denial. That's the core. It's really a call to heal what needs to be healed, loving what was forgotten, integrating what was separated, and only then can you really anchor your light. True star leadership, it argues, isn't about forcing things. It vibrates. It guides by example. It means you have to walk with feet on the ground and heart high. It's all about becoming that beacon through your own sort of embodiment.
That sounds powerful, but definitely challenging. And the source seems to acknowledge that. It says many will judge or try to discredit these individuals, but then it states quite firmly, your soul committed even before this body existed. And it highlights this idea. The awakening is collective, but begins in the individual. So how does it suggest this new earth gets built from that individual journey?
Yeah, it's a really potent statement there. The source is clear. The new earth is not built with stones, but with choices, with attitudes, with presence, with truth. So right away, it tells you it's not some external project.
Internal first.
Exactly, an internal transformation that then ripples outward. The core role isn't portrayed as, saving anyone in the usual sense. It's more about being a bridge, a lighthouse, a frequency. And to do that, the very first step, it insists, is turning inward. It talks about transcending the spiritual ego and allowing divinity to manifest through you. It really stresses there is no greater mission than to be whole. Because a whole being radiates a light that transforms everything around without effort, without struggle, without imposition. It calls the starseed a living part of change, an activation code for this humanity. But, and this is crucial, it insists, before offering to the world, receive yourself, recognize yourself, heal yourself, love yourself. It's a powerful call for self-actualization first.
Okay, so building on that really profound personal journey for these star seeds, the source then introduces this vital distinction. It seems key to understanding how this transformation happens. It explicitly contrasts two states, coming out of the shackles of 3D and tuning into the 5D frequency. That sounds like a major energetic shift. Can you help us unpack what it means by the third dimension or 3D first?
Absolutely. And for listeners familiar with these terms, the source frames 3D as more than just, the physical world. It's presented as an experiential state, a kind of consciousness trapped in the gears of the third dimension. Basically, living inside a field that's designed for emotional, spiritual, and energetic manipulation.
Manipulation, that sounds pretty intense.
It does. Think of it as a state where external forces heavily influence your reality, your inner peace, keeping you sort of distant from your own inner power source.
Okay, that's a strong description. So how does this alleged manipulation actually work in 3D, according to the source? It lists some specific mechanisms that might resonate with people's experiences.
It definitely outlines several key ways this happens. First, fear and guilt. It says we're often taught to fear God, to feel sinful, to believe you are unworthy. You know, the idea that salvation or love is conditional, granted only if you follow certain rules. This creates dependence.
Right. Dependence on external approval.
Exactly. Then there's dependence in another sense, believing you need temples, pastors, priests, gurus, or discarnate entities for spiritual guidance. Discarnate entities meaning essentially non-physical beings or spirits. The source argues this whole belief system blocks your sovereignty and cuts you off from your inner voice.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Well, this one's important. False channelings and holographic interferences. It warns that many spiritual messages might be transmitted by non-light aligned consciousnesses. They might use beautiful images, words, and known names, but the underlying effect is creating subtle fear, blind adoration, or emotional dependence.
Wow. So it's saying not everything that looks spiritual actually is helpful. That's a big warning. Not all light is light. Not all love is real love. How does it suggest listeners actually apply that discernment? Practically speaking, seems tricky.
It really boils down to vibrational discernment. The source puts it bluntly. The vibration doesn't lie. It says if it trapped you or makes you doubt yourself, it is not from the source. So it's pointing towards a deep internal check, like a gut feeling, not just analyzing the words intellectually.
How it feels in your energy field.
Precisely, your resonance. And finally, it mentions attachment to pain and the internal search for cure, being kept in cycles of suffering and healing so you don't realize that the true path is not to seek constant repair, but rather to remember who you already are. It suggests this is kind of an ingrained pattern keeping us looking outside for fixes.
Okay, so if that's the picture of 3D, how do we actually tune into 5D consciousness? What's the roadmap out of these manipulations?
And this brings up a really crucial question directly for you listening. How do you navigate this? The source offers a pretty clear path forward. First, assume spiritual sovereignty. This means declaring, internally or externally, I am a sovereign, free, and conscious being. My connection to the source is direct. There are no more intermediaries. It's about trusting your inner knowing, your feeling, above any external authority.
Taking back your power, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Leave the fear vibration, recognizing that in this view, in 5D, there is no guilt, punishment, or threat. Everything is learning and expansion. So when fear comes up, the advice is to stop, breathe, and say, I choose love, I choose the truth of my heart. It's presented as an active choice.
An active shift. Okay.
Third, practice vibrational discernment. We touched on this. It's not just analyzing words. It's about not accepting something just because it seems beautiful or comes from a known name. Instead, you ask yourself, does this message empower me or diminish me? Does it inspire me or generate dependence, confusion, and fear? The answer, again, is in your field, your energetic field, not just the logic.
Trusting that inner resonance.
Yes. Fourth, abandon the constant search for salvation outside yourself. This means stopping that self-story of being broken, sick, sinful, or someone who always needs to be cured. In 5D, the understanding is you are already light in expansion. The path is remembering. It's a fundamental shift from seeking to being.
From fixing to remembering. Got it.
And finally, activate your full presence. Instead of just automatically following external rituals or practices, it's about starting to live with consciousness. Choosing what really resonates with your heart, making quiet time to hear your soul, letting your intuition guide you. And the powerful statement here is, the temple is now you.
Oh, that's a strong image.
It really recenters everything. It's not just about stopping external stuff, but radically shifting focus inward. You become the source of your own guidance.
Okay, so let's bring these two big ideas together now. We've got the star seeds and their personal mission, and this profound shift from 3D to 5D consciousness. How do they intertwine in this message? What's the connection?
Well, the message basically suggests that the starseed mission is the shift. It's the embodiment of it. It's not about some grand external action necessarily. It's about embodying a new frequency. It explicitly says, your light is not in what you do, but in what you are.
Being, not doing.
Precisely. And it connects individual work to the collective very directly. Each time you heal a wound, it says you heal a part of humanity. Each time you forgive, you dissolve ancestral patterns. Each time you love yourself, you raise the collective field. This is framed as the initial service and mission. It's this ripple effect from your own inner transformation.
It also talks about receiving a new activation code through this message, through this frequency. And it defines that code as courage to be, humility to serve, love to sustain, lucidity to choose. Those sound like the exact qualities needed for this journey. And there's a reassurance too, right? It says, we are with you not as lords, but as older siblings walking side by side. It tells the listener, you are part of the fleet, part of the plan, part of the heart of the source and manifestation.
Yeah, that's a really powerful reaffirmation of connection, isn't it? And purpose. And the final unifying message for you, the listener, is just incredibly direct and I think empowering. Remember, the portal is you. The mission is you. The new world begins in you with love and honor. It puts the agency squarely back on the individual. And, if after thinking about all this, you still feel some confusion, the source actually offers a kind of direct plea or invocation you can use. Divine source, align me with the truth that vibrates in pure light, free me from all non-light interference, and guide me through my awakened heart. It's like a tool offered right within the message itself.
That's really helpful. This deep dive, it certainly offered a unique lens on our spiritual journey, hasn't it? And the profound power of individual transformation, the core message that seems to run through everything we've discussed, feels very clear and very liberating. What is true does not trap you, it liberates you. So for you listening right now, maybe consider this. How might recognizing these described energetic dynamics, the manipulations of 3D, let's say, and committing to that path towards 5D consciousness, how might that fundamentally shift your own approach? Your approach to personal growth, how you seek knowledge, maybe even how you contribute to collective well-being just in your everyday life. Lots to think about. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep digging deeper into your own inner truth.